Welcome to my channel Karma Romance Stories. Please like, subscribe for more videos.
I never imagined that attending my nephew's birthday party would become the most terrifying day of my life. I arrived with a smile, carrying a gift and leaning on my crutch because I was still recovering from an injury. I thought family would support me. Instead, I became their target. My sister-in-law smiled before deliberately shoving me into the birthday table. The cake crashed onto the floor. Everyone gasped. Before I could stand, my own father ripped my crutch from my hands and struck me while screaming that I had ruined the party. I cried for help, but no one moved. Then the front door slowly opened. The person who walked inside changed everything forever. The voice you selected does not support this language. Please click the upper right corner to switch to another voice. When I woke up that morning, I believed it would be a happy family celebration. My nephew had been excited for weeks. I bought him the toy he had always wanted and wrapped it myself. Even though my injured leg still hurt, I refused to miss his special day. I wanted him to know that I loved him. The moment I entered the house, something felt strange. My sister-in-law barely looked at me. My father ignored my greeting. My mother forced a smile but quickly walked away. I tried to convince myself that I was imagining things. The house was full of laughter. Children were running everywhere. Balloons covered every wall. Music played in the background. I slowly made my way across the room, using my crutch while carrying my gift. My nephew smiled when he saw me. He hugged me carefully because he knew my leg was injured. That hug reminded me why I came. The birthday cake was placed in the middle of the room. Everyone gathered around the table. Parents held their phones ready to record the moment. My sister-in-law stood beside me. Without warning, I felt a hard push against my shoulder. I lost my balance immediately. My crutch slipped away. I crashed into the table. The cake flew into the air before smashing across the floor. The room became completely silent. My nephew started crying. Instead of asking if I was hurt, my sister-in-law pointed at me and shouted that I had destroyed everything on purpose. Everyone stared at me. I tried to explain that she pushed me, but nobody listened. Before I could reach for my crutch, my father stormed toward me. He grabbed the crutch from the floor. For 1 second, I thought he was helping me stand. Instead, he shouted that I had embarrassed the family and swung the crutch straight at me. The first hit landed across my shoulder. The second struck my head. I fell flat onto the floor. Pain exploded through my body. People watched without saying a word. My mother covered her face. Some relatives looked away. Nobody stopped him. My father kept shouting that I always ruined every family event. I begged him to stop. He refused. My screams echoed through the house. Children began crying. Guests started whispering. Still, nobody moved. Then the front door opened. Every voice stopped instantly. A woman stepped inside, followed by 2 police officers. Behind them came another man holding a camera. My father froze. My sister-in-law turned pale. The woman calmly introduced herself as the event photographer hired by another relative. She explained that she had arrived early and her camera outside had already recorded what happened through the open entrance. One officer asked everyone to remain where they were. The photographer played the recording. The video clearly showed my sister-in-law deliberately pushing me. It also showed my father attacking me while I lay helpless on the floor. Nobody could deny the truth. The room became silent. The same relatives who blamed me seconds earlier suddenly refused to make eye contact. My nephew looked confused. He quietly walked toward me and hugged me again. That moment broke my heart. The officers separated everyone and began asking questions. Several guests finally admitted they had seen the shove, but stayed silent because they were afraid of my father. The truth slowly came out. This was not the first time they had treated me this way. Old family arguments, years of emotional abuse, constant blame, everything surfaced that afternoon. My father tried to defend himself by claiming he had acted in anger. The recording proved otherwise. My sister-in-law insisted it was an accident. The video showed a deliberate push. Neither excuse survived the evidence. An ambulance arrived. Doctors examined my injuries. Fortunately, nothing was life-threatening, but I suffered bruises and a concussion. As I sat in the ambulance, I looked back at the house. For the first time, I realized that I had spent years trying to earn love from people who never intended to give it. That realization hurt more than any injury. Weeks later, several relatives contacted me with apologies. Some admitted they should have defended me. Others confessed they had always feared speaking against my father. I accepted their apologies but chose not to rebuild every relationship. Trust, once broken, takes time to return. My nephew continued visiting me with his mother's permission after family arrangements changed. He often apologized for something that was never his fault. I always reminded him that kindness is stronger than anger. Months later, I watched the recording one final time. Not because I wanted revenge, because I needed proof that I was not imagining what happened. The truth gave me the strength to move forward. Sometimes justice arrives when you least expect it. Sometimes one open door changes an entire life. That birthday party ended in tears, but it also ended years of silence. I finally chose peace over approval. I walked away from the people who hurt me. And for the first time in my life, I never looked back. The voice you selected does not support this language. Please click the upper right corner to switch to another voice. Some people believe family can never be wrong. Real family protects you instead of humiliating you. Respect is earned through love, not fear. The day they tried to break me became the day the truth finally set me free. If someone keeps hurting you, remember that walking away is sometimes the bravest decision you will ever make.